Hi, this is Rich Farmer with KRC Realty, Property Management and Mortgage. Today I want to come up with 7 ideas, questions. If you're a home buyer and you want to find that right agent. So here's 7 questions to help you out. The first one would be, how many years have you been in business? Why is this important? Because you want someone that's going to be experienced, someone that's experienced in the field, someone that's familiar with contracts, someone that's negotiated enough deals. They know the ins and outs of what a home inspection is, how it's supposed to be read, how to negotiate, going back and forth on counter offers. So I would want to know how long someone's been in the business. Not that you can't work with someone who's new. If I were going to do that, I'd probably work with a new agent if they're on a team with somebody, because I know they're going to have that support. So you just want to make sure you have the best representation. There's a reason why, attorneys right out of law school make $75 an hour, and attorneys that have been attorneys for 15 years are making $350 an hour because of their experience. And it works the same with the real estate field, mortgage field, or any other field, really. So I would want to know how many clients they've represented on the buying side. If they're honest with you and they're like, listen, you're my third guy, but I have a good team behind me, like I said, that's okay. But I would feel a little bit more comfortable if I were working with somebody who maybe has represented 50 or 75 buyers at a minimum, to make sure that they really have the skill set to move forward. So that's a good question to ask your realtor when you're working with somebody. There's probably more realtors in the state of California than not. If you don't know someone that's in the real estate business, then I always tell you that you don't have any friends, because everybody's got a real estate license. Most of them are part-time. They have a second job, and they'll help you buy or list a house, but they really don't have the skill set. It's not their primary job. You want someone who's a full-time realtor. So the third tip, or the third question I would ask, will I be working with you directly, or will I be working with a team? Both are great answers. I am part of a team, and it's just the way it works. Sometimes someone wants to work with me directly through the entire process, and then I have a transaction coordinator who's handling all the paperwork. Or a lot of times I'll just hand it off to the transaction coordinator, who's also a licensed realtor and been in the business for 25 years. And that's a great relationship. That's a great relationship as well. I like working in the team effort, because on the team side, one guy can go and knock out stuff while the other team's picking up the support. It's really hard, especially if you're a busy team. If you have 8 buyers that you're helping, it's hard to show 8 buyers property. So it's good to have support. So that's always good to know if you're going to be working with them, or if you're going to be working with a team. Okay, so another question I would probably ask is, where do you do your primary business? If you're looking for a home in Vista, and you have a friend who's in the real estate business, and you want to use him, but he lives out in El Cajon, he's probably not going to know the area. I know I've worked in my offices in Lake San Marcos, but I've lived in San Elijo Hills. I lived there for quite a long time. I know a lot about San Elijo Hills. I know a lot about Lake San Marcos. And you want to work with somebody when people come into to my office and they're saying, how many HOAs are here? I know exactly how many they are. They want to know what the fees are. They want to know how big the lake is. They want to know what services are out here. I know that. I know that if I go out to Oceanside, I'm probably not going to know as much about Oceanside, just because I just don't know that much about it. I might not be able to represent a buyer the best that I can, because I don't know what areas really to show them, or I'd have to do a lot of research on the market. So you want to make sure that you're working, especially with a buyer's agent, someone who knows the area, going to know a lot about the schools, that they're familiar with that area, because that could be very important. So another question I would probably ask is, how are we going to communicate? I have people who love to call. They don't text. I have other people that all they want to do is text. I get emails. So I would probably ask the agent, what is the best way to communicate? And that agent needs to be flexible. If they're going, yeah, you know what, I only work by email, that might not be the person for you. If I'm working with someone and they want to email, I'll email. If they want to text, I'll text. If they want to call, give me a call. I'll always pick up. And that's one of the things that I always try to separate myself from everybody else. A phone call never goes to voicemail. I pretty much pick up, or I'm calling you back within a minute or two. So responsiveness is very important, especially when you're in the service business. You need to be very responsive to your clients. You want to make sure that whoever you're working with is going to be responsive to meet your needs. Another question I would probably ask, I would want to, if I was a buyer and I'd ask an agent, I'd say, what questions do you have for me? Because if I was posed that question, what questions do you have for me? First thing I would say is, what's your goals? Do you plan on having a family soon? Are you getting married? If you have kids, are you planning on more? What's your goals? Because then when I know more about you, um, I can better help you find a property. So my answer to what questions do you have for me is me finding out everything I can about you. Where do you work? Do you plan on transferring? Do you like the commute? If you don't like the commute, are you sure you want to do this? I actually have an employee of mine. He lives in Alpine. I'm in Lake San Marcos. He takes him an hour and a half to get to work every day, but he likes living in Alpine, so he's happy with that. Some people might not be willing to do that. So that's another question that I would probably ask as well. I think the last question I would ask the agent that I would be working with is, after you find out what the goals are, I'd say, that sounds great. You've learned a lot about me. Now, what strategy do you see us, how do you see us moving forward? I would really want to know what strategy the agent has when it comes to finding me the right property. Is he going to be maybe going after some expireds that might have expired, that might be on the market, that other agents aren't even looking at? That'd be a good way to go. Are you just going to be waiting for properties to hit the market? You're going to be sending out notices to potential homeowners that, because as a realtor, we can get title information. We know that the average person sells their home about every 10 years. So you might want to start having your agent send out notices for neighborhoods that you like, where people have been in the home for 10 years going, hey, I got an interested buyer. Are you interested in selling? So I'd want to know what that strategy is. I would want to know what the game plan is. So there's a couple tips that might help you out when you're looking for a buyer's agent. Maybe pose them a few questions and find out a little bit more about them. And hopefully they're going to ask you questions to find out more about you. And if they do that, then you might be working with the right guy. Again, Rich Farmer, KRC Realty, krcrealty.com. Give me a call. If you have any questions, love to help you out. And we'll see you on the next episode.